If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Beetlejuice is a 1988 American gothic dark fantasy comedy horror film directed by Tim Burton from a screenplay by Michael McDowell and Warren Skaaren, based on the story by McDowell and Larry Wilson. The film stars Alec Baldwin, Geena Davis, Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, and Michael Keaton as the title character. The first installment of the Beetlejuice franchise, the plot revolves around a recently deceased couple. As ghosts, they are not allowed to leave their house. They contact Beetlejuice, a sleazy bioexorcist, to scare the house's new inhabitants away. The film prominently features music from Harry Belafonte's albums Calypso and Jump Up Calypso. Beetlejuice was released in the United States on March 30th, 1988 by Warner Brothers. The film was a critical and commercial success, grossing $84 million on a $15 million budget. It won an Academy Award for Best Makeup and 3 Saturn Awards, Best Horror Film, Best Makeup, and Best Supporting Actress for Sylvia Sidney. The film's success spawned an animated television series, video games, and a 2018 stage musical. A sequel, Beetlejuice, had its theatrical release on September 6, 2024. After the financial success of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, released in 1985, Burton became a bankable director and began working on a script for Batman with Sam Hamm. While Warner Brothers were willing to pay for the script's development, it was less willing to greenlight Batman. Burton had become disheartened by the lack of imagination and originality in his scripts and had been sent, particularly in Hot to Trot. Michael McDowell and Larry Wilson formed a partnership with entertainment attorney Michael Bender, and Beetlejuice was the first original project. After developing the story, McDowell and Wilson decided they would write the first draft of the screenplay together, while Wilson would only take a story by credit as well as his producer credit. Burton had gotten to know and work with McDowell and Wilson. Burton read the first draft of Beetlejuice, liked it, but had other projects that kept him from becoming involved at the time. The original script is far less comedic and much darker, and the Matlin's car crash is depicted graphically, with Barbara's arm crushed and the couple screaming for help as they slowly drown. A reference to this remains. Barbara remarks that her arm feels frozen upon returning home as a ghost. Also, instead of possessing the Deets and forcing them to dance during dinner, the Matlins cause a vine-patterned carpet to come to life and attack them by tangling them into their chairs. The character of Beetlejuice, envisioned at the first draft as a winged demon who takes on the form of a short man, is also intent on killing the Deeters rather than scaring them, and wants sex with Lydia instead of marriage. In this version of the script, Beetlejuice need only be exhumed from his grave to be summoned, after which he is free to wreak havoc, and he can be summoned but not controlled by saying his name 3 times and wander the world freely, tormenting different characters in different manifestations. In another version of the script, the film concludes with the Matlins, Deeters, and Otho conducting an exorcism ritual that destroys Beetlejuice, and the Matlins transforming into miniature versions of themselves and moving into Adam's model of their home. Skaaren's rewrite shifted the film's tone, eliminating the graphic nature of the Matlins' deaths and further developing the concept created by McDowell and Wilson that the afterlife is a complex bureaucracy. He also added that the afterlife is almost in limbo, and that it keeps Barbara and Adam trapped inside their home. He would also add music accompanying Barbara and Adam's ghostly hijinks, although his script specified R&B tunes instead of Harry Belafonte, and was to have concluded with Lydia dancing to When a Man Loves a Woman. Initially, Beetlejuice was supposed to be a Middle Eastern man, and much of his dialogue was written in African-American vernacular English. Burton's original choice for Beetlejuice was Sammy Davis Jr. The producers also considered Dudley Moore and Sam Kinison for the role, but Geffen suggested Michael Keaton. Burton was unfamiliar with Keaton's work, but was quickly convinced. Several actresses auditioned for the role of Lydia Deetz, including Sarah Jessica Parker, Brooke Shields, Laurie Loughlin, Diane Lane, Justine Bateman, Molly Ringwald, Juliette Lewis, and Jennifer Connelly. Alicia Milano was the runner-up for the role, but Burton decided to cast Ryder upon seeing her in a film called Lucas. Angelica Houston was originally cast as Delia Deetz, but dropped out because of illness. O'Hara quickly signed on, while Burton claimed it took a lot of time to convince other cast members to sign. He would say they didn't know what to think of the weird script. Burton also felt that O'Hara and Jones would make a cute couple. Lydia Deetz was notably cast with the look and persona of goth subculture. Beetlejuice's budget was $15 million, with just $1 million given to other visual effects work. And it was always Burton's intention to make the style similar to that of old B-movies he grew up with as a child. He would eventually hire Bo Welch, his future collaborator on Edward Scissorhands and Batman Returns. Welch would work as the production designer. Most famously, the film features 2 Harry Belafonte songs, Day-O, the Banana Boat song, and Jump Into the Line, Shake Sonora, which have both come synonymous with this film. The film would earn $8 million in its opening weekend, which at the time was an Easter weekend record. Beetlejuice was a financial success, recouping its $15 million budget and becoming the 10th highest grossing film of 1988. Some fun trivia notes. Michael Keaton has said this is his favourite film he's ever starred in. He also came up with much of the character's look himself. He said he wanted mould on his face and that his hair must look like it stuck his finger in an electric socket. He also requested that his wardrobe department send him clothes for all different types of periods. The studio originally wanted to call the film House Ghosts. As a joke, Tim Burton suggested the name Scared Sheetless and was horrified when the studio actually considered using it. Keaton was also ad-libbed most of his lines. During the scene in the graveyard, after the Matlins leave when Beetlejuice gets mad and kicks the tree, originally the tree was not supposed to fall, but during that take Michael Keaton kicked the tree and it fell, and he ad-libbed, "Nice model," and squeezed his crotch twice, which accompanied by honking noises. Keaton actually said this to the set designer who messed up, but director Tim Burton loved it so much he left it in the film. In the waiting room at the end of the film, the bottom half of the magician's assistant that Beetlejuice tries to feel up was played by director Tim Burton's then girlfriend. Michael Keaton playing Beetlejuice only appears 17.5 minutes in the entire film. When Glenn Shaddix, who plays Otho, died in September 2010, the last song performed in the memorial service was Deo, the Banana Boat song, which was used in the dinner party scene. Catherine O'Hara met her future husband, production designer Bo Welsh, while making this film. The title Beetlejuice comes from a real star in the night called Betelgeuse. It's part of the constellation Orion, which can be seen in winter skies in the Northern Hemisphere. Lydia's age is never stated, but Winona Ryder was 15 at the time. Barbara refers to Lydia as a little girl, so it's likely that the character is supposed to be between 13 and 16. Now, Beetlejuice is a timeless, brilliantly weird classic from Tim Burton. This film is a masterclass in creativity, showcasing Tim Burton's signature style and cementing Michael Keaton's status as a cinematic icon. This film will always be remembered for Burton's visionary direction and world building, and it almost made Burton into the star and unique director that he later became, with so many of his signature tropes used in this one. But for me, though, it is Keaton who steals the show. Keaton's interpretation here of Beetlejuice is revelationary, and he makes the character his own with unparalleled energy and charisma. Even though he's only on screen for such a short time, you cannot wait to see what Beetlejuice will do next. And it's Keaton's interpretation and ad-libbing and creativity as an actor that really brought this movie to life perfectly. The rest of the cast are on point as well. Of course, actors like Alec Baldwin and Jeffrey Jones for paedophilia charges and Baldwin for the Rust shooting, maybe haven't aged as well, but they turn out excellent performances in this one, as does Geena Davis here as Barbara Maitland. It's also an outstanding performance here from Catherine O'Hara as the crazed and over-the-top Delia Dietz, not to mention an excellent performance from a very young and impressionable Winona Ryder. The film explores identity, morality, and redemption with wit and humour. It also adds a satirical commentary on suburban culture and social status. This film, of course, has gone on to influence generations of filmmakers and writers, and really does remain a beloved cult classic. With its ingenuity, originality, clever set design, fantastic creativity, and complete and utter originality, Beetlejuice is just one of those films that will linger long in the mind. Beetlejuice gets a 9 out of 10.